Hi guys, ShiggitayMedia here, and I found that it was time for a tutorial. Everyone's been asking for, hey, can you do a tutorial for this? Can you do a tutorial for that? And I was not in the spirits, or the motivation wasn't there for me to do it. But today, inspired by me finishing and redoing my HDMI console setup, I'm going to show you guys a quick and dirty way. Maybe not dirty, that's not the right term. A quick way to set up two programs, OBS and GameShow. OBS is free and open source across everything on Windows, Mac, and Linux, and it even has a version called Streamlabs OBS, which is meant for professional streaming, of which GameShow is as well, but it is user-friendly enough. And I'm going to start with OBS because that's the least intimidating. And GameShow I'm not very pro at yet, but I can figure it out, and I can show you some things of it. But they both work the same way. Now, I am on what's called a Hackintosh. So if I go to the About This Mac, you'll see it looks all like a normal Mac, right? But no Mac on the market has the Radeon RX, AMD Radeon RX 480 4GB variation. Yes, Apple is using what's called the Polaris chipset in their systems, but in the new systems. But no Mac, desktop or laptop, has this exact amount of RAM, GPU chipset, etc. And let's see, this is the Intel Core i7 3770K. No Apple machine has ever used that, etc. This is not a 5K 27-inch iMac from 2015. This is a completely custom setup in here. And, right, so given this is a Hackintosh, OBS will not allow me to stream without going through or jumping through a lot of hoops. And it's not just on Hackintosh hardware, on generic hardware like this, which is what a Hackintosh is. A Hackintosh, in brief, is where you buy a PC like a Dell or a Compaq, if that even exists anymore, like by brand, or I don't know, Alienware, etc. You buy any generic system, e-machines, and you install macOS onto it, as long as the parts are compatible, which is hit or miss. And it's more of a hobbyist project than just get a random PC to install Mac onto. And my parts are compatible. I've had to do a little bit of hackery to get mine working as well as it is now, but the community is really nice. But this video is not about Hackintoshing. Maybe I'll make a Hackintosh series another time. But this video is about how to use video capture programs like OBS and GameShow. There are many, but these are specialized for game console and PC gaming, PC game streaming and recording. They're both pretty capable. OBS is free and open source. It's available across Mac, Windows, and Linux, which, like I said, has a variation called Streamlabs OBS, which is meant for the professional streamer on Twitch, on YouTube, on Hitbox, any other streaming service, live.com or live gaming. I'm not even sure what they all are. But it's pretty powerful on its own. But GameShow is the only one that works on macOS, which is why I gave you a little pseudo tour of the system. The only one that works on macOS that also lets you stream. Now with OBS, I believe it's possible on the macOS, on the Mac, and like on a real Mac, like my MacBook Pro right here, to stream the game audio only. But if you want to use a microphone track like my speaking track here, then you can't, because there's some incompatibility with audio drivers or something. But with GameShow, you have to do a slight workaround. You need to use a program called Loopback to make a virtual microphone for it, and then, oops, I didn't need to launch GameShow. And with that, you can actually use, partially in software, a microphone, and you can talk on top of your screens, talking to your audience, making commentary while you're playing, etc. OBS on the Mac cannot do that. On Windows and Linux, yes, but the code base for OBS is not quite there yet to make that work, if it's ever going to be implemented ever. I'm not sure. But anyhow, let's launch OBS. Now, when you install OBS from scratch, I'll leave a link in the description below on where to get these programs. When you launch OBS, you'll be greeted with this window here. You might get this gray dark mode, dark theme, or I believe you can switch the theme to something else. I'm not going to look here for too long. It might be in preferences actually, and there's a lot in settings here that I'm not going to go into, but let's see, video, general, here we go, theme, dark, or default, that's a default. There's also Recini, interesting, and also Acri. Oh wow, interesting. But I like the dark. The dark, which is a default, which is the default theme, not the one called default, but it's a default theme. So say okay. Okay, so here's OBS. Open Broadcasting System is what it stands for. And it gives you what's called a scene, or as I like to refer to it and compare it to, a canvas, like an artist's canvas, right? Because that's where this is where everything is going to go. Now, under sources are like the paint, or like the stuff that goes on the canvas, okay? So you can, if we click a plus, there's a whole plethora of sources here, okay? And if you're playing a PC game, you would most likely be doing display capture or window capture. For a webcam, you would use video capture device. I can't show the video capture device demonstration because my screen recording program ScreenFlow is already using it, so it would just not work. But for this demonstration, we'll be using a capture card called the Blackmagic Intensity Pro 4K, the Blackmagic Design Intensity Pro 4K. Okay, so we'll click that, and we're creating a new one because of this. I recently reinstalled macOS on this Hackintosh, so it's been, cleared out. And here you can name it. I'm just going to call it Blackmagic Design Intensity Pro 4K. You can call it Bob's Uncle if you want, but for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to call it literally what it is. Okay, so when you're done naming it what you like, click OK or hit Enter like I did, and then it's going to you're going to see two red options here. And if you click down on Device, if you somehow have several capture cards connected, like the Intensity Pro 4K and Elgato HD60, HD60S, etc., then they're all going to show up here. Well, not the HD60 Pro, but actually, let me take that back. The Elgato devices on macOS or on any system that on any system that OBS runs on will not show up here. But compatible devices, for example, like the Intensity Pro 4K, like any of the AverMedia devices, I believe, like some of the Magewell devices will all show up here. So we select that, and as you can see, my PS3 is on, and it's picking up the input the input from my PS3. Now, generally for mode, auto should work, but the PS3 runs at 1080p 59.94. We select that and change it to this. Change the pixel format to 8-bit BGRA instead of YUV. You see if you have it on YUV because that's not the color output it's doing. So if you change it to that for manual settings, that's what it comes out to be. But generally, if you do auto, it'll detect what the signal is, and you will be able to use it. Okay, now channel, I leave it on 2-channel because I don't have a surround sound set up and none of my hardware can do it. For buffering, I just keep use buffering off. If you hit use defaults, that crashes OBS for some reason. So let's launch it back up. Okay, good, it's saved what we did so far. And okay, that was interesting. I'm gonna get a message saying it quit. Do you want to reopen? Where is that going to show up? Okay, I'll dismiss it when it shows up. But anyway, that wasn't supposed to happen, guys. I'm sorry. You're going to get a scroll bar here because the name is too long and the interface doesn't allow you to stretch the columns much. But anyway, so let's go back in here. it didn't say, okay, if you hit defaults, there we go, it didn't crash. It'll put it back to how it was. So let's quickly set it back up. Okay, and here you see the, here you see my PlayStation 3. And I'm using my controller here. And boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no, that's the sounds. In fact, let me turn on the sounds for you guys to hear. So edit, advanced audio properties. Go here, monitor only. It doesn't really matter to what tracks are on, but it's just so weird that it automatically enables all tracks, really. There we go. On the PS3, it's just little ticks. As I'm sure you guys can hear. I think you can hear. If you can't, that's okay. And here's this is a custom firmware PS3, and some of these games are gotten in untraditional ways. I'm not condoning that at all. But here's Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1, which, yeah. Anyway, now as you can see here, this is the audio coming from the capture card, which is the PS3 is connected to. And you can turn it down because it's almost peaking. So if you come here and turn it down, generally, with it just hitting the yellow is good. Because when you have a microphone set up down here, you shouldn't have to be yelling over your console audio. And there's an ambulance outside because I live next to Boston College. Good job, students. Anyway, so this is how the PS3 looks when it's set up in here. And this is OBS. Now, here, another source we can add, let me put the controller down, is some text. So, here's some text. We can make it say, this is a PS3. And I actually haven't done the text before because I never use it. But we can make it whatever font here. Let's make it marker felt and make it 36 point. And where the heck is it? Oh, it's right here. Interesting. Marker felt thin. Oh, here we go. Oh, 34. All right, you see? Here is that. Once you put that source out, you can shrink it. Boom. This is a PS3, right? So that's just an example of the different sources you can use on a video. And now okay, so this is the PS3 here, right? But let's say we can change the name of this, right click it and say rename. We can make it say PS3 demo. Okay. Now, let's say we want another console, for example. Let's do my PS2. So let's call it PS2 demo. And I have everything set up through a switcher and a splitter so I can get rid of HDCP annoyances so I can capture PS3 and PS4. The PS2 is going through a component to HDMI adapter, and it's all to the capture card. It's all HDMI. It doesn't care. The capture card, the Intensity Pro 4K, the IP 4K, is capable of analog inputs as well. But I'm just keeping it all digital and all digital converted because I don't want to have to deal with that. And it's a bit of a hassle to go into the control panel program, which is this, and go in and change the input. I'd rather not do that. Anyway, so the PS2 is there. So here's the remote to my HDMI switcher. Go to input 2, and as you notice, oh, there's nothing showing up. That's because there's no source set up. So we'll do the same thing. Go to Blackmagic device, and now it says add existing. You see that? Because we already set it up for the PS3's usage. So we'll click it and say OK. And why it's doing that, I don't know. Oh, wait. Okay, that's interesting. I don't understand why it's doing that. If I set it to NTSC, or if I just reset it. So let's set it to auto. While it's doing its thing, let me take a drink here. Totally not a video sponsor, but Pure Leaf tea is delicious. This was just water in here, but yeah. Okay, there we go. My PS2 is somewhat custom set up as well, so there's going to be stuff on there that you wouldn't normally see on yours. But, it's, there we go. Okay. So the game is showing up there in preview, but everything is set up normally here. It's the same exact settings as with the PS3. Say okay. Now you see it's really tiny here. Let's make it grow to show the whole thing. And it's in 4:3, as you can see, because that's the only thing the PS2 could output, really. Yeah, maybe later games, some games could do 720p at the very end of its lifespan, but that was rare and few apart. So over here, on the sides, you'll see the little letter boxes. Okay, this particular game in there is called R Tonelico 2, and I have yet to start that game, but very soon on my gaming channel, my friend from California and I are going to be playing this. And again with the ambulance? Come on, students, what the hell are you doing? Okay, anyway, so... Okay, why the audio is all weird, I don't know. Let's turn it down a little bit. Okay, that does not normally happen with this component to HDMI setup, but there we go. That's PS2 running in OBS. And to demonstrate the sources thing again, I'll really have to investigate why the audio is all wonky, because when I make like actual recordings of this, I do not want to have that weird wonkiness there. Okay, let's turn it down. Now, like before, we can add, not another scene yet, we can add a text. We can make it say, we can do add existing, make it say this is a PS3, but we can edit it. In fact, we get past this this stupid FMV and put this over here, and we can edit it. Oh man, something's going on outside. That's a little scary, huh? Alright, so you can click on the source and double click it, or click it and click the little gear icon to get into editing. You can make it say this is a PS2, and this will stay here, and this will stay here throughout your capture, but you can also reorder it. But just be aware that if you put anything behind your capture card source, you're not going to be able to see it unless you put it below. So stuff like text and other overlay objects need to be on top of your capture, otherwise you won't see it. So there's the PS2 one. And finally, let's set up, you can also rearrange how these appear, right? Now, let's make the PS4 set up here. Okay. And okay, let's get rid of that PS2 audio there. And remember, clean slate, right? So we say add a source. Go to Blackmagic device, hit existing, say OK, and it is already on. All right, we can zoom back out. And here is my PS4. Now I'm keeping it offline because I really don't do stuff online with it often because my games are right here that I play. and I want to continue this game and replay this game and possibly start this game at some point. I got it almost 2 years ago, but whatever. Res Infinite is really fun too. But yeah, here's the PS4 setup here. And let me turn off the PS2 because we don't need it. And, right. So let's do that same sources demo here, right? Say text free type, use the existing, and let's grow it. Oop, too big. And put it, I don't know. If you hold down the shift key, you keep proportions. Like, I know that from my graphic design skills. It works here too. All right, and it still says this is a PS2. But we can go in and make it say this is a PS4. Now, since we're using the same existing one, I think it's going to say PS4 on all of it. Yeah. Anyhow, you guys get the point. But that's basically a way to set up stuff in OBS. Okay? So, let's get out of OBS. Next, I'll show you how to do it in GameShow. So, a word about GameShow. GameShow is what I consider to be a freemium application. Freemium means free premium, because you can use it completely free of charge up to a certain limit. If you pass 720p, 30 frames at a certain bit rate when you're streaming, then it's going to put a watermark on your stream. And if you can deal with that, if you just want to stream 1080p and you don't mind like a bit of branding on your stream, sure, okay. But most people aren't going to like that. So you can pay $29 and you get support and updates and everything for free for a year. And after that year, you can stay with the older version if it works for you, and nothing is crippled. Nothing is not going to work. But $29 a year is not bad, and I paid that, and also because it was giving me this really annoying splash screen when I would launch it, and that's not the reason why I did it. I didn't spend $29 to get rid of a dialog box, but okay, sorry. But yeah, let's quickly take a look at GameShow. And it is, if I have it set to load recent documents, but the new document thing here has templates. You can already see how much more complex it is compared to OBS. And there's templates you can use for like FIFA 2016, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO, Hearthstone, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, World of Warcraft, Dota 2, Minecraft, Destiny, League of Legends, and GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, you can make these all from scratch. You just get the image, make a screenshot you like, and build upon that, sure. But for this demonstration, you can make a blank one, make it only the game, or game and cam. Game and cam should work here. You can set up the stream to Twitch or YouTube, and make it say the game title. Fine, demo. As you can see there, when I start typing a game, there you go. It knows the most common games being played. I don't have GTA 5 really on anything, so it doesn't matter. But if you're on a real Mac and using GameShow, you can utilize the integrated graphics chips in those systems to actually do all the encoding and processing. But since this machine, I do have an integrated graphics chip, but I have it turned off because I'm not using it. So, right, anyway, also the game title for this demonstration won't matter because I won't be streaming, but to stream in either of these is pretty simple. And I should have showed you in OBS, but there's a button that says start streaming. There's also a button that says start recording. But this is just a quick and easy way of showing you guys how to get this working with a capture card. Anyway, so encoder settings. This is where the watermark would come in if you didn't pay for GameShow. So if I like doing it at 720p 60, 35. Okay? And go like that. And you can select your Twitch server. I am in the Northeast United States. So I'm going to use New York. And we say next. And now game source type. It's either going to be a PC game or a game console game. And the game source is not coming from this camera. It's coming from the Intensity Pro 4K. The camera is this camera. The microphone will be the microphone I set up for this. That one. Say next. And it's going to do some authorization stuff. Okay. Now, here's the main interface of GameShow. It's somewhat intimidating, but not really. But down here you have your master layers. And within the master layers, there's this layer, which is the one that was template created for us, called Game and Cam. You come in here, and here's my audio here. Here's the PS4. Here's my little video feed, right? And okay, it's coming up. Cool. It's probably showing also down over here with my screen capture, but my screen recording. But here's this, and if you click this, it'll expand it out, and here's all the little components of this shot layer, as they call it. And this is a little bit easier to get set up in terms of capturing and everything, instead of having to go in, add a source, and set everything up like that. But you can also edit things in here. You can play with the orientation of the captured object. You can play with like this, and it tells you the coordinates here really well. You can play with the opacity. This has just so many more nitpicky options that are right there in your face. Okay, and that's the shot layer properties. Here's the sound properties. If there's any audio playing from PS4, of which there's like some background music I have on that you probably can't hear. The chroma key is not something I use, but chroma key is used for getting rid of the background, so you can just have your body showing up in a video feed, for example. Then here you can change. You can change the name of the capture card. I normally leave it alone. And here is the option where it automatically detects all the input. See, this is very similar to how OBS does stuff, but it's more automatic and more auto-aggregating and everything. And, right, so here's the stream button. Here's the record button. And you can set up your recording directories, I think, in here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not preferences. You go to output menu, output settings, and you can set up your output right here. Now, the advantage I see to GameShow is the fact that it defaults to MP4. With OBS, it by default records to FLV, or Flash Video, and it is not very versatile when you try to go to edit it. But you can do what's called remux, and that takes the file and converts it to a multi-track MP4 file. But this is already multi-track set up here. I mean, to set up multi-track, you would go in here and set map. And okay, why did GameShow crash as well during this video? That's not good luck. Okay, let's bring back. Okay, good. So it recovers it. Okay. So also with GameShow, you can notice it's actually a document, like a file, like a little preset file, right? That's because GameShow doesn't use scenes directly like OBS does. So in a way, that's also easier. You can share scenes with people, I think. You can give them the GameShow file and load it up in their version of GameShow, and it should work. I have no practice with that because I've never done it. But anyway, so what were we doing here? Okay, an output in here. And Say cancel. What were we trying to do? I don't even remember what we were trying to do, but anyhow, GameShow is a bit more complex, yes. But okay, here we go. All right. That's okay. I remember now. I was just explaining that you can do the same kind of stuff in OBS in terms of multi-track stuff, and that's what we were doing, right? So if you come in here, go to audio and say map. Okay, good. It didn't crash. Good. You can change the track for post editing for the recording. Now with OBS you can do that, and just fine. But I like GameShow because first of all I can stream if I want to, and the recordings come out just as nice. And okay, so I like having the captured game audio on track 1 and my audio, which is right here, on track 2. So we can get rid of that. Let's go back here and select the mic, go to its audio, and make sure it's set up right. Yep, good. It's correct across everything. And you can do this in OBS as well. Okay, why is it crashing? It's so interesting. Yeah, sure. You guys. All right. So, email address. Okay, you guys, I don't care if you guys know my name. I think I said before. Tutorial / general setup video for GameShow, and it keeps crashing on me. There we go. So it should send exactly what I was doing and what happened. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to cut this out of the video because it's interesting that it keeps crashing. And yeah, okay. Okay, while it does that, let me launch up one I made for Art and Alco, the game on PS2 that we were demonstrating before. But let's see, is this mic working in this one? Should be. Yeah, it is. Good. Anyway, the mic primarily. There we go. Good. The mic primarily is going to be used with my screen recording program called ScreenFlow, which is actually by the same company as GameShow, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, what I was trying to say each time it would crash, maybe because I have too much going on the computer, is the fact that you can have your recorded version, right, at a higher quality setting than your stream. So you would have to have a semi-beefy computer to do that, and you can set how many tracks you want your recording to have. And again, you can do that also in OBS, but it is much more accessible here, and like all in one spot instead of going to each one. And this is more self-contained, as you probably saw. Let's say okay, because this is actually a file that can be different from anything else, and I like it. This little layout here I made is kind of clunky, and the Twitch chat would show up here, and I like this is not an OBS versus GameShow video, not by any means, by no means, but I like it, and it's fun. I think it's fun to use. It's interesting. It's really powerful. You can preview. For example, I'll quickly go over these buttons up here. This is live and preview. Live is this. Whoops. No, do not screw up my layout here, please, you butthole thing. Okay. And this isn't even the right console for this game, but that's okay. Okay. So this is preview, and this would be live. Just the green dot is preview, the red dot is live. Now we can make it say only preview, so anything you're doing to set it up is cool. Then only live, and you can have it set to both like this. And let's say I move my camera over here. It won't show up if you can even do things on the fly, right? And you're streaming and you need to move your camera around. Now if you hit this, the live viewers will see you drag it up there whenever you press this button, which means go live. I think that's what it is. Auto live is on. Okay. Well, there's a feature called auto live that whatever you do eventually will catch up with you on the stream. But and just put that back there. If we do that again, it'll fly back over there. So it's much more of a semi-professional streaming tool, streaming and recording tool. And OBS, like I said, is also pretty powerful. But this is much more streamlined together. It's a commercial product, like I said, a freemium product, and it's meant to be more commercial and professional grade. The equivalent on the OBS side is called Streamlabs OBS, like I might have mentioned earlier. But it's not available for macOS yet. I don't have a reliable Windows setup right now to show it. I can show on my laptop, but it's basically what this is, but different in the OBS style. But anyway, let's actually have GameShow dial together. This is the end of the video, and thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this helpful, please hit smack a like on there. If you didn't like it, the other button seems to work okay too, the dislike button. And if you want to see other videos like this, if you want to see me go further in depth into GameShow, which is a bit more complex and I don't know too well yet, or OBS, which I know a bit more about because I have used it more, let me know in the comments down below. Share this video if you think it would be helpful to some people. And yeah, the whole thing. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe if you enjoy my content, and share. Down in the comments below, down in the description rather below, the links and everything to all my other network channels are there if you want to see more content from me. And have yourselves a great evening. And I was going to do my little outro, but it's really dumb and I need to come up with something better. But thanks for watching, and everyone have a great night, and I hope this helped you guys, and happy gaming.